Ooh, hello everybody. I'm going to take it easy this time around because I'm feeling just under the weather. So I'm going to go really nice and slow. And the theme that I want to talk about, just freestyle with no script and just to process out loud, is this tendency from my brain to take any small symptom and wonder if it's like a big deal. And then I remember all the people saying like, "Oh, you know, they get this way too," or this other person was saying like he has this hypochondriac, you know, response. And I remember, you know, me coaching him and bringing him to the point of like, okay, let's accept that fear. Let's see what would happen if we were, truly on our last moments. So I remember me doing all this kind of um, work with this person, but I wasn't feeling it at that time. And the true work is always when we're feeling the emotion. And that's really when the emotional level, like a level in the game, right? That's when it truly hits, and that's when it really gets real. So mentally, I've always had the stance of I accept my mortality. I accept that every moment may be my last. But that is a mental um, commitment, right? And until I'm actually deep within this existential panic, it's not that big of a panic, but it's almost right. So from a level of 1 to 10, it's like a deep 6, which is interesting. It's different than social anxiety, where I can feel it at like an 8, but I'm not really that worried about it. Right? Social anxiety, it will the worst it does is affect how I present myself, and I've kind of already fallen as low as I can. Like I've presented myself exactly as I am. I can't do any better, so this is what I am. So I can't go any lower. But with the physical health fears, um, yeah, I was just surprised. I mean, it always surprises me because I forget between uh, the different instances. I always forget how terrible it feels when I'm truly, truly in it. Um, One of the reasons I felt this panic was I've been having this, you know, pain in my thigh. And then I woke up 2 nights ago, 2 mornings ago, with this like knot in my lower right back, and now it's like my shoulders, and then when I was driving out earlier today, it was my shoulders. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like is it spreading? Is it like, and then my brain thought about all these different things about like what could it be? Is it the vitamins I'm taking? Is it the proteins that I'm doing too much? Is it pasta? Is like it's I paused my brain and I saw the trajectory of it, just like it's just grasping onto anything of like why, oh no, oh no. It's like whatever it is, whatever it is, it doesn't matter in this moment. I don't think it's catastrophic, stroke. I'm having the pain. It's on my right side, so I don't think it's a heart attack, and I'm unlikely to be having a heart attack. It's like a muscle pain. And then my brain goes through like all these other, like, what if it is this catastrophic, I don't know, whatever muscle disease or like. But the truth is, that kind of fear, those kind of percentages or risk, is always present. It's always present. And I'm trying, so I'm talking to myself. And in the end, to face my fear is to always accept the possibility of dying at every moment. It's like, okay, if this moment is to be my last, let's just be really gentle with myself. One of the themes I've been putting out there to myself is this: to soften into the pain. And in the moment when I'm feeling like, oh my gosh, something could be terribly wrong, yeah, it's a possibility. Can I slow down? Can I love myself through it? A part of my brain was saying, like, oh no, what if something is terribly wrong? And another part of my brain goes, well, then we'll handle it together. I got me, my human, you know? I got myself. And I just had this idea of just saying to myself, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Whatever it is, we got this. Maybe we are dying. I mean, eventually we all are. Even if it's going to take another 70 years, you know? We are all dying. In this one moment, do I have to take any drastic measures? It was almost a relief when other parts of my body starts getting achy, because then my brain's like, oh, this is probably most likely a cold, you know? And even right now, my jaw's aching a little bit. So it's like my entire right side, which is a little scary because my dad had a tiny micro stroke, which then cleared up, but he had numbness on one side of his body. So that's what, primed my brain to worry. And then I've seen these Facebook videos about somebody with ALS, speaking through a machine, and the progression of it being like 3 to 5 years. And then my dad having polymyositis. It's like the risk of that is always there. Of course, I don't go around wondering every single moment. I see, my brain sees the absurdity of living life like that. However, it's in these moments when the fear is truly triggered, when I truly have some symptoms of whatever. And that's when I remind myself that is when the game gets real. That's when I'm actually dropped in to the emotional sea and it's fully inundated me. And it's just another moment. It feels really terrible. There's all these thoughts that come up and bubble up, saying like, oh, what if it's this? Is it the vitamins I'm taking? Am I having vitamin poisoning? Is it? It's so wild. It's like, oh, I should be drinking more water. Is it just dehydration? It's like there's so many things. It's unlikely to be all of them. And that's it. It almost makes it easier when there's so many different thoughts, so many worries. You know, So at the very foundation, at the core, is the fear of no longer being here. Well, one way to look at it is that every time these kind of fears come up, it is our chance for us to embrace the end, is to embrace the shadow, the fear of death. Right? It's a near death experience. We don't have to wait until it's a car crash or etc. So this is what I'm telling myself. Okay, I'm shifting modes. I'm not telling you, I'm telling myself. Anytime I get these kind of panic of like, oh no, what if it's, you know, whatever. What if it's a stroke? What if it's this? What if it's that? I almost don't want to know too much. It is a chance for me to face my shadow, to drink it all in. That's how I've learned to build emotional strength for things like social anxiety. So I'm going to do that same thing for physical health. Doesn't mean I ignore the symptoms. I do my best to keep an eye on the symptoms to see if I actually need to go to the hospital or anything. But right now, I'm just a little tired. My muscles are a little achy. I had a muscle, knot, but that's not life threatening. It's fine. It really is. And I acknowledge the fear that it's always there. I'm not going to, attack it for being silly. It just gives me another chance to train my emotional immortality. It's another chance for me to face death emotionally. Again, I actually have to feel the emotion for me to actually be able to mature that part of my emotional brain. If I don't feel it, I'm just talking about it. So I embrace this panic as a chance to face death over and over again, and to really accept the possibility that any moment may be my last. I really don't act like it. I don't cherish the moment like it was the last moment. And in some ways, it's just not practical. I do believe I'm going to be here tomorrow and the day after. So I'm simply not going to be able to do all the things I want to do if I'm not. And yet, I'm also sitting with the grief should that happen. I need is not the right word. I want to prepare for that ahead of time. That should I face that moment in the future, I'm going to grieve anything I wasn't able to finish. And I didn't put a bow around anything. But I think the people I love know that I love them. I haven't really had much practice being soft. It's been a traumatic beginning. And I have a lot of hope. I want to be softer. I'm a little puppy. I don't need to be aggressive anymore. I really don't. Part of the aggression is self-defense. What if I walk down the street and somebody mugs me? It's like, okay, I'll let them. The cost of it is turning into an armadillo. The cost of me, and I've never even been, mugged. The chances of it are very low. And I've been paying the price on the off chance that something may happen and I may be able to defend myself, you know? And I still will, to the best of my ability, you know? But I'm gonna let it go. Because I know it comes from trauma. Trauma makes me see the whole world as super scary. You know, I was bullied so badly in grade school. Even when little kids come by, there's a little part of my brain that's like, Urgh. It's like, huh, that's strange. Those are little kids. So even now, like around 3 o'clock when the school kids walk by, there's a part of my brain that's like, kids, like, oh, it's like, oh, sweetie. I'm not that kid anymore. But I still want to acknowledge that pain, that I haven't really had many role models of how to be soft and loving. I just haven't. It's one of the 5 existential griefs. Places in me that has never known love, and that which I expected but did not receive. Mm. Oh, and, you know, whenever my parents are just a little late, there's a part of my brain that says, oh, they're probably dead. They died. And then I check the Find My app and see, like, oh, no, no, they're just in this supermarket or something. It's just like, oh, they're coming home or something. It's like every time, if they're just a little late or something, there's a part of my brain fear that activate that says, oh, they're probably dead. Which, of course, points to some sort of abandonment wound, or I don't need to go into the past history, but it's just there, like the fear of, um, you know, my parents probably picked me up late once or something, and then the story came about, and all I do is simply love the heck out of it. And truly, if something happened, like I would have to shift a lot in my life, you know. Right now, I'm not making the money to be able to afford to sustain the house and all the things. And that's one of the motivators for me is I need to replace my dad's income so that I can be the one to support the family, to support their retirement, the house. And I'll think about everything else after that. You know, what about me? It's just like that's another set of traumas where I feel like what my needs or wants are not important. But we'll leave that for another time. It's easier to make money out of helping people and needing to support people. So I'm going to use that. Otherwise, there is this deep shame and fear and thinking that sales is wrong. And then there's probably something along the line of not good enough. Again, I've checked the whole list of possible childhood traumas. I practically have them all. It's just freaking ridiculous. So, apparently, you know, the story is that I chose it. I choose that story. Before my birth, I chose this you know, origin story to feel like I have every single childhood trauma, except for like the really bad ones. Like there was no physical abuse or tremendous poverty where we're afraid that you know we wouldn't have a house to stay. So I'm grateful for that. I really am. Does that take away the pain of the other stuff? Mm-mm. So yeah, makes sense why I have so much trouble. That's why I can't hide anything anymore. I can't. I'm too deep in a hole to hide my struggles anymore. And I'm just going to ignore that for now. Whew. Anyway, so that's the hypochondriac side of me, which I've forgotten. At least I'm claiming it now. Even when somebody else is saying, like, I have this, hypochondriac, whatever. I don't know how to say it, but like, for me, it didn't land when he was saying it, but now when I feel it, it's like, oh yeah, yeah, no, I have that too. my my leg was aching, then it went up to my back, and then went up to my arms. Like, oh my gosh, is it spreading? Is it gonna like, oh, you know? And then it's like, and then all the excuses or the reasonings, and I really don't know. Am I taking too much vitamins? Is it poisoning? Is it, you know? I don't know, but it's probably just just an average cold because I haven't been around that many people in a while for that long. So I went to a concert on Friday, and now I feel a little sick. That's all right. I did decide to skip the improv class, and it was the last class, so that's unfortunate. But that's okay. I did not feel like I should be going to it. Um. Anyways, I also wanted to talk about the challenges of decluttering my room and then picking up each little piece of thing that I have, like the squishy ball. Like, how do I categorize this? Do I want to keep the squishy ball? It feels great, so I kept it. But where do I put it? And every single thing that I choose to keep adds up, you know? So the trouble of physical organization is very real. But I don't have a whole lot of energy to do that right now, and it's dinner time, so I'm going to pause here a little early. But I wanted to be completely open about my very human experience. So this is how I am self-coaching myself. So I'm only talking to myself here. I'm noticing my own hypochondriac tendencies, and it clashes with my belief consciously that, like, oh, I've accepted death, it's la la la, all this talk, right? But it's helpful to have that talk to fall back on, you know? When I was driving and I was having these aches, it's like, oh, is it a stroke? Is it like, oh my goodness? And then I really thought about it. It's like, no, strokes don't really do muscle aches. And it's on the right side, so it's not a heart attack. Is there a blood clot somewhere in the muscles? It's like, and I heard myself go through all these different, not excuses, hypotheses. The brain is just doing what it's doing. It's trying to figure out reasoning. It's giving priority to something that's physical and like could. Anyways, it's all, everything is as it should be, including the panic. Ah. And so, let me just wrap this up so I can. Um, I don't need to finish that, so I'm gonna wrap this up. Okay. I'm coaching myself through these moments by reminding myself those kind of fears are just another chance I can practice near death experience, practice acceptance, being grateful for the health I do have when I have it. I'm really hoping that, my health I'm like healthier than I've ever been. So there's a thought of like, oh, I don't want it to lose it all now. I barely just got started. It's like, yes, that's the attitude. And if it happens to be the end, hold on, let's take a moment right now. Let's really appreciate this moment. If it is the end, and if it isn't the end, then would would I have wasted an appreciation at the moment? Oh, I wasn't actually dying. Let me take it back. Let me take the appreciation back. It's like, no. So any time I feel this panic that I may be dying or that something may be terribly wrong with me, I use it to appreciate the moment, to embrace death once again, to truly embrace it while I'm feeling the panic of it. So for when the time actually comes, I will be ready. Or even if I'm not ready, it'll just be another moment. It's okay. And I remind myself to soften into the pain, the grief of like all the things that I might not be able to do, all the people that I have yet to love. That's the real grief. Well, it's great. I hope, I'm pretty sure that this isn't the end. But on the off chance it is, I love you all. This is my best chance at getting this work out into the world, this way of thinking. If something happens to me, there's still a record in the world. That's the best I can do. I do believe that this will create a revolution in the world. And things are pretty dark right now. It really is. So I need to get this medicine out there. I'm doing my best. I am going into my basement, my emotional basement, and my literal basement. It's actually just a room downstairs. And my emotional basement is feeling really bad, feeling small and introverted, and just sitting with it. And then eating up all the terrible as fast as I can until there's no more, until I try to be terrible and I can't. Okay. So, anyways, this will be a little bit of a shorter video. So, anyways, I love you all. That's it. I hope there's another day, and there probably will be. So, anyways, I'll see you all later. Love you all. Bye.